being reported that Adam Gase is the leading candidate to replace John Fox, who has parted ways with the Denver Broncos. And we will get more clarification in the next day or so about what actually happened in the meeting between two of them, because honestly, they both talk on the side and off the record to people. So we'll get the word. You and I both have some connections to a lot of different people out there. What would be the other candidates if Adam Gase is the leading candidate? Let me just throw some names out there.
Okay.
Jack Del Rio, who was the interim coach last year. I think he would get an interview. You got to keep in mind, and that's why this is so amazing when people will go, well, why don't they go ahead and make a decision? There is a Rooney Rule in the National Football League, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. In the Rooney Rule, you do have to interview minority candidates, so you can't just make an announcement. Yeah. So I would guess that the Broncos have a coach on their team that has been an interim coach here.
Eric Studesville.
He's the running backs coach. I would think they will give him an interview as they did before. There were other quality candidates in the league who are minorities. I think they'll probably bring in 2 or 3. I don't think this will be a decision, and nor does it have to be. I wonder if John Fox will coach the Broncos in the Pro Bowl.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No,
well, I mean,
don't think so.
That's who the candidate is, the coach of the Broncos.
My guess is no.
So the other candidates would be Todd Bowles is on everybody's list. Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, can pretty much name wherever he wants to go.
Well, does Elway call Gary Kubiak and see if he might be interested in coming to Denver?
Maybe there was something, in terms of we talked about, and we've talked about in the past, don't take a job until
don't quit a job unless you have another one waiting.
Well, maybe Gary Kubiak and John Elway have already worked out something, and John Elway, before he fired Fox, had an agreement with Gary Kubiak.
Yeah, except we know Gary very well, and Gary is not comfortable as a head coach. He never has been. I don't know that he ever will be. He just wants to coach and draw up the X's and O's.
And I've saved for last your friend, and you're somewhat of his confidant, that the biggest story in Denver, I think, would be
you kidding me?
Mike Shanahan with his son Kyle Shanahan coming back to Denver. And there are people who go, how in the world could that happen?
Well,
it could happen.
I'll tell you why it could happen.
And there are a couple of reasons. Elway and Shanahan have repaired whatever issues were between them. And secondly, Peyton Manning really would like to play for Mike Shanahan.
They get along beautifully. And I can tell you right now that Mike would let Peyton be Peyton instead of, doing that control thing and wanting to rewrite the playbook and all that. I know that for a fact. Mike would let Peyton be Peyton. Mike would find a way to protect. You remember what Mike did with Jake Plummer all those years? Jake Plummer was a lousy pocket quarterback. I mean lousy. Made bad decisions, wasn't very accurate, but he knew what Jake's strengths were. And that was primarily roll out, bootleg, throw on the run. And that's what Jake did primarily. Mike knows how to put a quarterback in a position to succeed. What did he do with RG3 his first year? RG3 was a lousy pocket passer coming out of Baylor. He didn't do it at Baylor. He was a spread offense quarterback. That's what Mike convinced RG3 to do that rookie year, okay? And they went to the playoffs with an unrefined rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
He made Brian Greasy into a Pro Bowl quarterback. He made Jay Cutler into a Pro Bowl quarterback. And when Elway was here with Mike, he went to the Pro Bowl under Mike. So Mike is a no-brainer.
Let's say the other side, though, the last 5-6 years that he was here, they were not a good team. They were a 500 team. It was time for him to leave, honestly. You stay too long at a party. The other question will be, he never won a Super Bowl without John Elway. He did win with Steve Young in San Francisco. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. That he had a losing record in Washington that a lot of people, and I hate to bring up Donovan McNabb because I know.
He didn't want Donovan McNabb.
But Donovan McNabb says the game has passed him by. A lot of other people have said that. I'm just saying to you that there is another side to the issue, and a lot of people in Denver
are going to go, grapes from
McNabb. Okay, forget about Donovan McNabb. There are a lot of people in Denver, Les, that are going to say,
I agree.
Don't revisit that.
I agree.
You can't go home again.
Look.
So
things got stale at the end with Mike. The defense didn't perform under Mike. Totally different situation now. Here's the deal. I believe Mike is ready to say, who got fired? Was it Mike Shanahan, the head coach, or Mike Shanahan, the general manager?
Both. It was both.
I think it was more the general manager.
Well, it was both,
okay?
I think.
They've got a general manager now, and they've got a very strong general manager in John Elway and a proven good general manager in John Elway. Mike Shanahan, I believe, is ready to come in and say, hey, all I want to do is coach this team. That's it. You want to be in charge of personnel, you be in charge of personnel, you be in charge of the draft. Just give me the players to win with. That's all I care about right now. Mike just wants to coach and win another Super Bowl. To me, this is a no-brainer. He lives here. He's an integral part of the community. He is still beloved by many, many people here. And for those of you who say the game has passed him by, you don't know Mike Shanahan. This guy every day is watching coaches' video, which he has access to from other teams. He is talking the game through with people. There's a reason he's one of the hot candidates out there right now.
Sure.
In San Francisco, in Oakland, in Buffalo, Chicago. They all have interviewed him or want to interview him.
Okay,
there's a reason
Jay
for it.
Glazer is reporting that Adam Gase
here's
is
the thing.
leading
One last
candidate.
thing. John Elway and Mike Shanahan have repaired their relationship somewhat, but I think they still need to really make peace before John would even consider bringing in a guy who wouldn't hire John Elway when John Elway retired.
That's why I don't think it will happen.
I don't either, but
think,
maybe.
I think that Adam Gase will be and is the leading candidate, among the leading candidates. I think Jack Del Rio, because he did a really nice job when John Fox was not the coach last year. He lost one game in New England that the Broncos could have won during the absence of John Fox. I think that there will be a number of outside candidates will be interviewed, not only because of the Rooney Rule, but I think it always makes sense to interview a bunch of different people to get their ideas on a team. That's going to wrap it up, I think. We've reported that John Fox and the Denver Broncos have parted ways, and that Adam Gase, reportedly from Fox, and Jake Glazer is the leading candidate. There will be a lot more on DPTV and in the Denver Post and denverpost.com through the afternoon and through the night. And we'll be back tomorrow to
talk about this a whole lot more.
Sure.
Yeah.
It will dominate this program and other programs for days, if not weeks and months and years. And I may not live to see it all.
He's Woody. I'm Les. We co-host The Sports Show, and we're on every afternoon from 1 to 3. Give a watch. You can watch us anytime on denverpost.com.